There's no standard pay for pharmacists in Nigeria. Payment of salary is not standardized across the various states in Nigeria. But first of all, let me state a lot of things that I share on this channel are based on personal experiences. A lot of things I talk about are as it pertains to me. Yeah. So this is not different. This video is not any different from that. This comparison I want to make between the community pharmacy practice and hospital pharmacy practice. The points I'm going to raise, everything I'm going to say are going to be based on my own personal perspective, like as it applies to me. I know there are some people that are working in community and are enjoying what they are doing, and also people in hospital that are, deriving optimal job satisfaction from what they are doing. And that's not to discredit how they feel or their own opinion, but you also need to at least respect my own opinion because this is my own personal experience. So let me dive straight to today's video. I earlier said I was going to quit my job. I was resigning from my job, which by the time this video is out, I probably would have resigned from my job. Yeah, because no going back. My mind is made up. My letter is already typed, and tomorrow is almost here where I'm going to take it to my CMD for stamping or for, endorsement. So that's it. So, I earlier said I made a comparison between hospital and community practice, and that comparison was shallow because I had little experience. Even now, I can say that whatever I'm going to say is based on my 9 months experience in the hospital, not as a contract staff, not as an intern, not as a corper, but as a full staff. Let's talk about pay. There's no standard pay for pharmacists in Nigeria. Payment of salary is not standardized across the various states in Nigeria and across the various sectors of pharmacy practice. So whether you're in community or you're in the hospital or you're in industry or you are in administrative or whatever, your pay is not standardized. Okay. A state is paying this particular amount, another state might be paying something different. I think the only one that is really standardized is the federal parastatal, and it also depends. If you're federal administrative, I don't think it's the same with federal hospital because, of course, you don't get to do calls. You don't do night calls, you don't do weekend calls and all that. So back to business because I'm already digressing. From personal experience, hospital even pays less. Come to think of it, it pays less than community. Community depends on your bargaining power. You still have some sort of control over your pay. If you're able to sell yourself well, if you know your worth, you can earn, better. But if you're not really able to sell yourself well, you can even earn less than somebody in the hospital. So hospital for me paid less. Yeah, because of course you cannot use your license elsewhere. I said it pays less because at some point, there are some powers that be, especially if you are in civil service, some powers that be, especially those in the accounting section, they have power. You really have to respect them. Anywhere you see them on the way, you have to hail them. If they come to meet you, you have to give them high regard because they are the masters of your salary. So I learned that while I was in the hospital. So these guys, I don't know what happened. They can do and undo with your salaries. At some point, I got a deduction of like 27,000 from my salary, which I did not recover back till I quit the job or till I am speaking now. And when I laid my complaint, there was an error, which was never rectified. So you don't have control over your pay in the hospital. Somebody can slash your money. Somebody can do anyhow with your pay. You have to, this is Nigeria now. And I said it that the decadence has eaten deep into the grassroots. You have to, go and pay homage to some people so that your salary will be complete. You have to pay homage to certain people so that you will get paid. Even. Even. So that you will get paid at all, you have to pay homage. So now let's talk about work-life balance. I was complaining about community. They say that if you have not tasted one is better than the other. Sorry if you're not a Yoruba speaker. It simply means that you don't know the value of what you have. until you lose it. So I was complaining bitterly about community, that there was no work-life balance and all that from my personal experience in the community, owing to the fact that I wasn't working in the city where my family was living. So I was shuffling between home and work, and it was stressful. So I can say that that wasn't work-life balance like I expected it to be. It was maybe a little better because I was still with my family members where I was working. I was with my extended family members. I still got some sort of, home feelings, but not with my nuclear family. And for that, there were times I was mentally affected, like, oh, what are these children eating? And I would hear they're eating bread and pork, and I was disturbed. There were times that I was on night call. I had to quickly travel home and cook something and then travel back to my work before night, before 8 p.m. to take over from the person on afternoon shift. So I didn't get to enjoy 100% work-life balance, sha. Although it was slightly better than community. And if it were to be that I was working where I was living, I would have enjoyed work-life balance. So that's it. Third is job satisfaction. Hey, sure, you know that in community practice, you be complaining of mental health. Mental health is affected. It's affecting my mental health. I'm working 14 hours. I said a lot of things. Hey, but the kind of mental health and this thing that you experience in the hospital is a little different. You will also experience mental clinical in the hospital. Talking about your colleagues, especially in civil service, the mediocrity. Don't let me hear that you heard it from me. When you are there with high spirits, that yes, I want to work, this is the way I've been doing in the community, and then you get there and they quench that fire. Yeah, it happens. They will quench that fire. It's now be like, if you cannot beat them, then you join them. Otherwise, just be like an alien. Say, sure, you get that kind of thing. They will give you mental stress. When you're trying to do this, and some people are trying to do otherwise, you just get mentally distorted. Permit me to say any kind of oyibo that comes to my mouth. So that is it. Aside that, you will get to see a lot of disease conditions, a lot of cases, critical cases. You get to hear so many bad news. There were nights that people, they brought in accident victims, all of those kind of things. Sometimes you'll be at home, and then even as health workers, you just need somebody, to talk to. You need to get yourself together. If I'm feeling like this as a pharmacist in the hospital, I wonder how doctors and nurses feel. Because sometimes I just put myself in their shoes, like, how are they coping, having to deal with these people one on one? I cannot deal. I would have resigned since. So that's on another level. But in community, the kind of stress you will experience is different. It's the stress of how do I meet targets, the stress of how do I sell, how do I deal with this difficult customer, how do I ensure that drug does not expire. The kind of stress is different. The kind of mental stress is different. So let's go to the next point, which is career progression. Career progression is actually individualistic. Like, you can choose to go for your MSc, you can choose to go for your PhD, whatever degrees, while you are either working in the community or in the hospital. It all boils down to what you discuss with your boss. Like, in the hospital now, hey, a lot of hospitals are short-staffed. So how do you tell them that I want to go do MSc and then be away from work and take study leave? I learned that, of course, you can take study leave, but it will not be paid. So it depends on whether you're willing to make that sacrifice to go for study leave and to not get paid for how many months, I don't know. So you can actually progress in your career. And when you come back, it doesn't mean that they will now place you as the HOD or as the anything. They have just gone to add more knowledge to your knowledge bank. And also in the community too. If you like, go for masters. If your oga permits you, if your boss permits you, you can go. It doesn't mean that when you come back, you now become a master pharmacist in the community. So I'll still maintain that there's no progression. There's no progression that much in both hospital and community. But the kind of job progression or career progression I'm talking about in this video is like how you're adding more knowledge to your knowledge bank, like how you're discovering new things, that you're not remaining redundant. Okay, so that's the career progression I'm talking about. So talking about that, say I prefer the community practice kind of progression that I experienced, in the sense that, companies will come, they will invite you to seminars, you get trained, they will tell you updates about disease conditions, about dosages, about treatment regimens, about dosage regimens, even up to the point that companies that are manufacturing baby foods, they will also organize seminars. They will tell you a lot of new stuff, new ideas. That one I didn't get to experience it that much in the hospital, because you have hierarchy, and your ogas, your seniors, your superiors get to attend most of these seminars, while you remain at the dispensary just dispensing drugs. Lastly, talking about satisfaction. Okay, let me just say satisfaction, because time is going. So, ah, there are two different sectors entirely, and I can boast that I enjoyed working in the two. I enjoyed some things in community, I enjoyed some things in the hospital. So I cannot actually place one over the other. I actually enjoyed the two. If I were to work in the same state, I probably would have just continued with my job and all that. So that's all I've got to say today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have anything to contribute, please let me know in the comment section. And if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, don't hesitate to hit your subscribe button and turn on notifications. I hope to see you in my subsequent videos. Bye bye.